Okay, so you guys know when you were growing up, things like mom and dad, they used to tell us all the time. Anyway, it seems like our parents were so old, and then all of a sudden we're, we're where they are at, and all of a sudden they didn't seem so old anymore. But anyway, it's kind of interesting when you put into relationship um, when you thought your parents were old, and then when you get there, how different it feels. So anyway, my dad, piece of advice, I think I said it in another informational video. My mom always said, we'd hold up the water and say, this is the fountain of youth, friends. Drink it, drink it, drink it. Well, my dad, I'll never forget it, because he was windsurfing at 83 years of age. The guy was unbelievable. He boxed. He used to tell me that exercise is like brushing your teeth. You do it every day. So with that advice, I had some good parenting, I guess you would say. And in that respect, they did a wonderful job, and many others as well. But I really appreciate the fact that I grew up in a household that was pro-exercise, taking care of the body. I was blessed, and I see that more and more with each passing day. I didn't have parents that I saw them on a daily basis abusing their bodies. Instead, my dad would often say, your body is like a temple, treat it as so. You only have one vessel, and you're the only one that's going to take care of it. So that was always in the back of my head growing up. And like I said, some people, unfortunately, are not, or had some exposure to maybe a different type of an upbringing than I had. Didn't have a lot of money. We weren't rich in that respect, but we are rich in so many other ways. So I'm forever thankful for that, for two wonderful parents. But one of the things that my dad's advice was, I'll never forget it, because it was very demonstrative in my mind, in the sense that he was sitting in the chair, and he had just come out, I think, from either playing tennis or doing some kind of exercise, and he says, my advice to you, friends, is to remember to keep moving. And with that being said, it's so important, you guys, that you keep moving, stretching, lifting. I don't care what you do, because muscle loss is a reality as we age, unless you choose it not to be. So you have to do lifting. You have to do weights. It's important. You have to build muscle. One of the main causes of people when they fall, elderly people specifically, is, they'll break a hip, or they'll break a shoulder, or they'll break their back, or they'll break whatever, a leg, an arm. Well, you just don't heal as quickly, and usually, especially if it's the hip, you're going to run into some major issues, and those issues are going to be your demise. For some reason, when you break that hip, when you're elderly, they just don't recover. You just don't recover. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about getting older and younger and healthier, because my philosophy is that we do have a choice on how we age. Now, I'm going to take and remove any of the situation where some things happen that are out of our control. I mean, I've had it happen where you maybe in a car accident, or you took a bad fall, or you were you were not blessed, but your genes genetically destroyed the opportunity for you to age healthy, and you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, on that note, again, I think I talked so many times before that we do have some things we can do that will help us to not age as rapidly or age slower. We do have tools available now to even reverse the aging process. One of the things that I do, I don't have a lot of time because I do work full time. And I have a home to maintain. I have a dog, believe it or not. I'm out of the child rearing years, but on the other years becomes a whole nother thing. And a standard poodle's like having a 2-year-old. I'm not kidding you. The guy is very demanding, and he has to have certain stuff and toys and food and walks and dog park. And so my life is not by any means calm in that sense as far as responsibility. And then there's travel. And I'm going to tell you something about travel. I make it a point I mean, this is a given point. I don't care. A lot of people like to eat out all the time. They go out to, 2 and 3 times a week to eat dinners. I don't do that. I cook at home primarily. I'm not a great cook, so I do use some of the self-made services, that food that they deliver. But then I like to eat some salads and stuff that I can make. But anyway, I don't spend my money on stuff like that. I do, treat myself to other things, but I'm not one to spend a lot of money on eating out. So I use my money I go get a massage on a weekly basis. As I mentioned, every 3 to 4 months max, I take a trip somewhere. I just got back from Savannah. I'll be sharing some of those pictures. I just got back, actually last week, this Sunday, I got back from the Healing Springs up in the past Slow area up there, Sycamore Healing Springs, and I also go to Paso Robles to the Franklin Healing Springs. But I guess where I'm going with this is that you owe it to you. You are the one that needs to take care of your body. Because I got news for you, folks. Nobody's watching after you. And you're the one that has to be the one to take care of it. Where do you want to spend your money? Where do you want to spend your time? Personally, I'd rather spend my time getting massages and working out and taking walks and go to the Healing Springs and, getting the body treatments and taking good supplements and, detoxing, than going to the doctors, taking medication, having to have surgery, having to go through rehab, laying up my body, gaining weight because I can't move. Let's face it. I mean, where do you want to spend your time? Let me ask you that question very sincerely. Where do you want to spend your time? Wouldn't it be better to spend that time doing things that you can enjoy? And not only that, guys, but like I said, don't look at, I want to live to be 110. And you say, oh God, but that doesn't sound good because, but it doesn't have to be. I truly believe in the Benjamin Button theory. And I do believe that we're only probably, maybe 10 years max to where we're going to be able to reverse significantly the aging process. So my advice to you is hang in there, put your best foot forward, spend your money and time on taking care of yourself. And, that's another important thing. Do not feel guilty about pampering yourself, especially you women, because you know what? You're the only one that can do that, and you owe it to yourself. We have, especially as older women, we have sacrificed a lot to get to where we're at. We've sacrificed time, we've sacrificed our energy, we've sacrificed our money, we've sacrificed our emotions. We have 100% been givers. Most women have been 100% a giver, and it's our time. So 50s, I breeze through the 50s. 60s, that's a whole new challenge. So all I'm going to say is that we can have a great time. Life is not over in your 50s and 60s or even your 70s or 80s. My mother was 93, as I mentioned. She lived a healthy, beautiful life right up to the end. Very active, cruising, doing stuff. Looked amazing because she took care of herself. So bring it on. I'm ready. Have a good one.